Good morning, everyone. I'm Sergio Eugenio de la Merced. I'm the Applications Engineer for Design and Manufacturing at Maximum Solutions Corporation. So in this webinar, I will be discussing or highlighting in detail on what's new in Inventor 2020. So I will be also giving you some videos as well as some technical demonstrations. So let's get started. But actually before that, we have a quick poll. So Ma'am Janice, can you execute the poll, please? So for our first poll, we have what release of Inventor are you currently using? So you can choose one. So are you using already the version 2022, 2021, and so on? Or you are not currently using Inventor? So go ahead and choose. Okay, so for the results, we have already using Inventor 2022 as well as 2021. So some are using 2019, and most of our attendees are not currently using Inventor. So that's okay, no? So I believe we can proceed to the next poll, Ma'am Janice. Thank you for that. Okay, so for our next poll, what industry are you currently in? So are you in the AEC industry or the architecture, engineering, and construction? Or are you in the design and manufacturing? Or are you in both industries? So let's give a moment for our attendees to choose. Do we have the results now, Ma'am Janice? Okay, so most of our attendees are in the AEC industry. And we also have in the DNM as well as both industries. So okay, so thank you for the for the answers. So let's continue. So for our agenda for today, as I've said, I will be highlighting you the Autodesk Inventor 2022 new features. Then I will be giving you the additional resources, and by the end of this webinar, we will be having a Q&A portion. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and type it in the question box so that I can address it at the end of this webinar. Okay, so in Inventor 2022, the development team actually provided new ways on managing our parts and assemblies. No? So now we have the powerful workflow called the model states. So the development team also work hard to continue the development between the interoperability between Inventor, Revit, and Fusion 360, and some other enhancements in this great release. So these improvements and enhancements are driven by the users or customers through the feedback community, Inventor Ideas, and so on. So Autodesk is quite serious about this. So if you have any idea, you can go ahead and put it on the idea station or discussion forums so that Autodesk can understand what's important to you. So I will be giving you the links regarding the platforms on where you can put your ideas in the additional resources portion of this webinar. Okay, so in this webinar is divided into 6 categories. We have the model states for parts and assemblies. We have the interoperability between Inventor and Revit, and enhancements on productivity and performance, drawings, and installation and deployment. So let's get started with the model states. No? So as I've said, the model state is a new powerful workflow in Inventor 22. So as we design in Inventor, I believe most of you can relate to this. No? So sometimes we have a part which is designed to be modified during assembly. So this can be done in a lot of ways, but with model states, we can now create multiple representations of a part or assembly within a single document. So this will not generate additional member files on disk. So what I mean by this is that we now have a convenient way to engineer, manage, and ultimately manufacture our designs that has variations, and we will not worry about the broken relationships between files. So because again, model states is within a single document. So I will be giving you a technical demonstration on how we can do this in just a moment. We can also use model states in assembly models. So that we can easily create assembly configurations, weldment preparations, alternate assembly positions, or we can also represent an assembly file with simplified designs using model state. Now, so for instance, we want to represent an assembly file to have a fine, medium, or coarse detail. So again, for the model states, I will be giving you a technical demonstration of this. Okay, so in Inventor 2022, we can also now create instance properties in our assembly. So we may have these components with slight difference, and these components may be installed on different time, different position, or we may have their sequencing that we need to adjust. So that so now we can assign instance properties to individual component. No, so these are stored in the assembly level. So as we set our instance property, we can call it out in our parts list, bill of materials, balloons, and ultimately identify each instance of the component. So I believe I have a video to show you. So as you can see here, no, we have multiple components that we can that is similar but with slight difference. So what we want to do is to tag them uniquely. So after we tag them, we can actually call them out on our drawing sheet, as you can see here. So that's how instance properties works in Inventor 2022, so that we can ultimately identify each instance of a part or component. Okay, so in Inventor 2022, we now have the new simplify command. So the new simplify command replaces our previous shrink wrap as well as the shrink wrap substitute. So in Inventor, we actually use the Inventor to create detailed models so that we can so that it will contain the detailed information we need to ultimately manufacture our designs. But for instance, we want to participate in BIM or building information modeling, we will have this unrequired complexity, so we can use the simplify command. So as you can see here, we can pick our source from our model states, from our design views or position views. We can replace components with envelopes. We can exclude components. We can remove details such as holes, fillets, chamfers, and so on. But ultimately, now we can output a native Revit file, to participate in BIM, or with what we call the .rvt. So here we can see the capability of Inventor to do detailed as well as simplified designs. So talking about interoperability between Inventor and Revit. So as I've said before, from the simplify command, we can now export to a native Revit file, which is the .rvt. So I will be showing you again in a technical demonstration on how we can do this in just a moment. The interoperability between Inventor and Fusion is also enhanced. So as you can see here, we now have the Send to Fusion button in Inventor. So for those who doesn't know or no idea about Fusion 360, Fusion 360 is basically our first cloud-based CAD and CAD software that gives the next generation technology like generative design. So the interoperability between Inventor and Fusion is now enhanced. So as we send our part files on Inventor to Fusion 360, we can choose our team hub as well as the project folders that we want to place it in. So that ultimately it can participate on CNC machining, 3D printing, as well as generative design in Fusion 360. So additional interoperability includes our QIF support or quality information framework that will include our PMI data or product manufacturing information data. We can also use the task scheduler to export a neutral format like a JT export. Okay, so productivity and performance are always a high priority for new releases. So as you can see here, over the last several years, the development team made sure to deliver an efficient experience for everyone who works on complex parts as well as large assemblies. The performance improvements in Inventor 2023 includes the new graphics technology. So now we have we now utilize our GPU or graphics processing unit for our visual styles like displaying wireframe and silhouette edges. In-place editing is also enhanced. So as you can see, whenever we create sketches and work features, it now execute faster. We have the constraint status that we can display now in Inventor 2022. And of course, the opening and closing of documents is now faster. Okay, so the fillet command is also improved. So the fillet command is one of the most commonly used command other than sketch or extrude. So the fillet command is now a property panel. So it is divided into three. We have the standard fillet, we have the face fillet, as well as full round fillet. So as I've said, it is now a property panel. Again, property panel can be docked anywhere on your screen. So that if ever you close the property panel and open it again, it will appear on where you dock it. So you will never worry about it floating around your screen. So we also have here the tool palette to easily select by fillet type and do a selection mode to edge, dupe, feature, or solid. So this is interesting, no? So as you can see here, you may have tried before in your assembly to drag your component and move your mouse around, no? So that you will know if your component is fully constrained or not. And then you'll just press Control Z after to reposition the component. But in Inventor 2022, we don't need to do that. We have now the constraint status, which can display fully constrained components, under constrained components, as well as unknown constraint status. So as you can see here, fully constrained components will show the shaded circle. Under constrained components will be unshaded circle, and the unknown constraint status will just be a dash or a hyphen. Okay, so the dark theme is out of pre-release. So basically in Inventor 2021, it is in pre-release, but in Inventor 2022, we can now fully utilize our dark theme. So as you can see here, the property panel is also in dark theme now, as well as the form editor or form editor in our iLogic. Okay, so maybe I have a video here for what's new in Inventor 2022, productivity and performance. So as you can see here, as we work in our assembly and create a in-place component, we can actually see some improvements on productivity and performance. No? So as you can see, as we hide our object visibility and create our, like for instance, our sketches and 3D features, so it will just display those we are currently working with. So as you can see here, after that, improvements in in-place editing, as you can see here, we have now the ability to edit eye properties of components that are not active. So we can do that in Inventor 2022. And as I've said, the GPU or our graphics processing unit is now utilized to show our visual styles like wireframe and silhouette edges. Opening and closing of large assemblies are also enhanced. So as you can see here, so here we can see the improvements that are made in Inventor 2022. And as you can see here, graphic consistency between the drive command is also improved. Here we can see the on how we can show our constraint state. So as you can see, we now have the constraint status active. We can actually hide the fully constrained features so that we can analyze our components that is not fully constrained and make adjustments as needed. And as you can see here, the fillet command is improved as well so that we can ultimately streamline the creation of fillet and make it faster because fillet is one of the most commonly used command there is. So as we show dimensions of our features, it will now show a extended leader line. And as we change that dimension, it will automatically change the feature itself. Other improvements such as the measure command now includes a done and restart button so that we can easily measure one thing to another. As you can see here, other improvements include as we create our features and as we input our parameters. And if that parameter is invalid, it will now display as red. As you can see here. We can also create presets so that we can easily place our features. And again, the dark theme is now fully utilized using the applications options. So as you can see here, the dark theme is out of query list and will contain dark theme on most of the features in Inventor 2022. So as you can see here, we have the send to Fusion button. Here, we can send part files that we can select our team hub and our project files. And inside in the Fusion 360, it can now ultimately participate in generative design, 3D printing, or CAM programming. So as you can see. So that's the productivity and performance improvements inside Inventor 2022. So let's talk about drawing improvements. No? So as you can see here, we now have the lighting styles that if ever we change our lighting style from our 3D model, it will automatically sync our lighting style to our drawing sheets. No? So we also have the ability to save camera views. And if ever we have 3D annotations on our models, we can ultimately populate the drawing sheet with those camera views as well as 3D annotations. So we also have, if ever we place dimensions on our drawing sheets, and if ever it has intersecting center lines or center marks, it will now break. No? So as you can see on the top right of your screen, the center line actually breaks as we put our dimension so that we can easily see the dimension itself. So I believe I have a video here for what's new in Inventor 2022 for drawings. So as I've said, as you can see here, if we have our component that has the 3D annotations as well as camera views, saved camera views, we can now ultimately populate it in our drawing sheets. So as you can see here, and as we press OK, it will now automatically populate those 3D annotations as well as drawing views. We can also create our own template so that if ever we open a drawing sheet, it will automatically populate those 3D annotations as well as drawing views. Okay, so as you can see here, that's the process on how we can create templates. So as you can see here, we have the lighting style. So as we change the lighting style from this 3D model, it will automatically sync on the drawing sheet as well. And some other improvements include the, as I've said, the dimensions, as well as here is the eye properties. So these are the improvements in productivity and performance in Inventor 2022. So we have the installation and deployment for Inventor 2022 as well as Vault. So it is now streamlined with minimal configuration as well as we can launch the software itself while it is actually installing. You know? So let me show you a video here. So this video is about the installation and deployment for Autodesk Inventor as well as Vault Professional. Okay, so as you can see here, the installation is streamlined, quick, and easily deployable to multiple computers. So basically, as you can see here, as we install the Inventor Professional, we can pre-select the extensions that we want, so that as it is installing, we can actually open it already. No? So as you can see here, while it is installing, we can already open the Autodesk Inventor, and if we want to reselect those extensions, we can just reopen the installer itself. And it will install the other extensions. So talking about deployments, as you can see here, In Inventor Professional, we can use our Manage portal to customize deployment of our Inventor as well as Vault. As you can see here, we can customize or select what content libraries we want to use, what extensions we want to use, as well as the language packs or the language that we want to use for our Inventor. This is also true for Vault Professional. So as you can see here, we can select our extensions as well as language packs. And as we click next here, so as we click next, we can create the deployment name, for instance, the Autodesk Inventor and Vault 2022. Then we'll just be selecting our deployment image path. And as we create this deployment, it will download our deployment. And as we run our deployment, it will now create our installer for those software. And we can now ultimately install those on our computers. Okay, so that's the install and deploy in Inventor 2022. Okay, so let's go to the technical demonstration. So I will be giving you a technical demonstration regarding model states as well as the interoperability between Revit and Inventor. So let me exit my PowerPoint and go to my Inventor. So I hope you can see my Inventor. So as you can see here, I have a turbine impeller with 20 blades, which I want to represent this with just 18 blades of this turbine impeller. Now, so how can we do that? We can utilize our model state. So to create a new model state, so just right click here and create new. So as you can see here, we now have the model state 1, which I can rename by pressing F2 or pressing my left mouse button again, and rename this to a model state which has this part number, and press enter. So as you can see here, I have here the, wait, let me just minimize the zoom window here because I cannot see the parameters. Let me share my screen. Okay, so as you can see here, I have the on my manage tab, I can now as you can see here, I have a parameter which has the blade number, which has 18 blades, or I mean 20 blades. So I can, as my model state is active, I can change it to a 18 blades. So as I press OK or done, it will now have 18 blades. So as you can see, as I go to the master model and go to my model state, it will now contain only 18 blades. So I can also edit my eye properties here. So as you can see here, I can, for instance, make this part number as well as use the 18 blades parameter and click OK. As you can see here, my general annotations will now include the Autodesk model state, which has this part number as well as the 18 number of blades. Okay, so ultimately what I want to show you is this one, which contains already the model stage, which are represented by multiple or different number of blades. No, so here, as you can see here, and model states can work alongside with iLogic. So again, iLogic is our rule-based functionality for automation in Inventor. So as you can see here, I have the iLogic form wherein I can easily represent this the model states that I made. So as you can see here, as I click different model states, it will show me the number of blades as well as the stock number. So again, model states can work alongside with our iLogic functionality. Okay, so we can also use model states to represent manufacturing stages. So as you can see here, I have the master model state or the master design. So we can create model state, for instance, the cast manufacturing stage, and then we can suppress those features that will not participate in this manufacturing stage. So this is true also to a machine state, drilled state, finished state, as well as ready to be CNC machined manufacturing stage. No? So again, we can use model states to represent manufacturing stages of our design. So let's talk about the simplification so that we can participate. For instance, we want to remove the complexity of our design to participate in our building information modeling. No? So as you can see here, I have the master model state. I have a fine representation or fine detail of this design. I also have the medium model state. So what I want to show you is how can we create a coarse detail of a model state. Now, so I can copy this medium design. I can activate this by double clicking it and rename this, for instance, a coarse detail, and press enter. So what I want to create is a course detail. So what I can do is define envelopes. So by defining envelopes, I can select this plane. I can resize this envelope. As you can see here, I can drag the mouse or the arrowhead. And then I can select this plane or face so that it will extend up to that face. No? Then click apply. I can also create a bounding cylinder, as you can see here. I can also resize it. And ultimately, I can select this face so that it will extend up to that face and click my check mark. So now I have a representation of this model with a fine, medium, as well as coarse detail. So that's how can one way of how can we use again model states. We can also use model states inside our assembly environment. So as you can see here, I am inside the assembly environment so that I can represent components that has a 0-unit configuration as well as 2-unit configuration, as you can see here. So ultimately, we can also edit this via spreadsheet. So as you can see, as I go to my model state and click edit via spreadsheet and press OK. So if ever I want to create a model state that has up to 4 configurations, I can create this inside my Excel. So as you can see here, and just compute those parameters that are included. Let me just copy this here and then press save and then close this spreadsheet. So now it will automatically create model states that has now 3 units as well as 4 units. So as you can see, that's how we can use the spreadsheet by configuring our model states. Okay, so let's talk about the interoperability between Revit and Inventor. Now, so let me just show my Inventor here for a moment. So I hope you can see my Revit. So as you can see here, I have the facility where I want to coordinate or place my Inventor models. No? So as you can see, we have the 3D views. So this product B coordination is what we are going to use for coordination on our Inventor. No? So we also have the ground floor view. So here, let me go back to my Inventor. Let me just go back to my medium model state. Okay, so what are we gonna do is we are going to use the AnyCAD functionality in Inventor. No, so again, we can use the place imported CAD file. So let me just place that Revit file inside Inventor. So this is it. So again, AnyCAD functionality, we can reference multiple file types so that if ever we have changes on that original part file, it will automatically update in Inventor by just clicking the lightning bolt icon here. So as you can see here, we can select the views that we want. Of course, we want to use the production B coordination. And we can press OK here. So this prompt is just telling us that we have this number of components, and it may slow our performance. So let's just say okay. Okay, so now Inventor is actually importing our Revit file to from Revit to Inventor. So as you can see here. So let's just wait for a moment while it is importing our Revit file by using again the AnyCAD functionality. So the project B coordination view will now populate, as you can see here. So just wait for it on our Inventor 2022. Okay, so it contains a lot of elements, so that it may slow our performance, just as the prompt says. So as you can see here, we can place this grounded at the origin, and then press escape to get only one instance of this Revit file. So here we can we already have the Inventor models ready to be placed by just selecting the visibility of it. But we have the default view, as you can see here. So the default view now has the Inventor models activated. No? So as you can see, as we explore this model, we can now see a clash here. No? So the clash that includes the HVAC system as well as our crane. So for this instance, we decided that the crane will stay in place, and we will gonna be moving the HVAC system. No? So I have here the Revit export. So what are we gonna do is we will use the simplify command to export this as a Revit file to that we can link inside Revit. Now, so how can we do that? First, let's just hide first the Revit file here and click our simplify command. So in our simplify command, as you can see, we can select our model states, we can select our views, our positions, we can replace components via envelope. So as you can see here, all in one envelope, each top level component as well as each part. So for this instance, I'll just use the default options. So as you can see, we can also exclude components. We can remove features such as holes, fillets, chamfers, and so on. So that as you can see here, ultimately we can now export a Revit model, which is the .rvt. We can also select a new part or a substitute. So as you can see here, we have the structure so that we can select each top level of component. And as we select this each top level component, each top level component in Inventor can be tagged as well as scheduled in Revit. But I just want to stick to the default and press OK here and overwrite this. So now it is now exporting this part file to a native RVT file. Now, so while it is exporting it, let me just show again my Revit here. So as you can see, here is the facility that we are going to place our Inventor with. So let me just close this, as well as this project B coordination. So that as we place our Inventor model in Revit by this link Revit link, no? So that we can see our Inventor models here in our Revit. So let's just wait for the Inventor to export it. So again, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and put it on the Q&A box so that I can address it at the end of this webinar. Okay, so now the Inventor professional already created the Revit model. So as the Revit model is now created, we can see now the Revit exports folder now, wherein we can update as well as edit the simplification of that file. Okay, so let me just go back to my default view here, so that if ever we have now an update, we can see it inside Inventor. Okay, so going back to my Revit, so as you can see, we can now link Revit. So this is the file that we created or exported in our Inventor 2022, and just press open. And it will now populate inside our Revit now. So as you can see here, we now have the clash. So let me just highlight this Inventor, and we can see it now on our ground floor view now. So this is the Inventor models, which is exported as the .rvt file. Okay, so here we can move now the HVAC system. So this is the HVAC that we want to move to a 3000 millimeters, and press save. And as it is saved already, we can now click an update inside Inventor. Now, so as you can see here, we have a local update that we want to click inside our Inventor. So let's just click update. So I hope nothing goes wrong here. So I believe the HVAC system will now move to from 5,000 millimeters to now a 3,000 millimeters. So let's just wait for it to update the model. So yeah, now you can see in the HVAC system now move from 5,000 millimeters to 3,000 millimeters. So ultimately, we can drive this crane, for instance, as you can see here, just to check if there is more clash or not. Okay, so ultimately here we can see the interoperability between Revit and Inventor by using the simplify command, so that we can export a native Revit file that we can link in Revit now for coordination. Okay, so let me go back to my PowerPoint for a little bit. So Inventor 2022 delivers in 3 aspects. So as you can see, we have the professional grade, wherein we now have the powerful new workflow called model states. We have the enhanced interoperability between Inventor, Revit, as well as Fusion 360. And the development team made sure to have a efficient experience for our users and customers. So ultimately, we have the product design and manufacturing collection. As you can see here, we have the what we call the 3 pillars in design and manufacturing, which are the Inventor Professional, AutoCAD, as well as Fusion 360. The product design and manufacturing collection also includes our Inventor Nastran, which is capable to do basic as well as advanced analysis. We have Inventor CAM, which is capable to do 2.5 up to multi-axis milling, and uses the technology called the adaptive clearing. We also have here the Inventor tolerance analysis to make sure that our parts or components can fit in real life before actually manufacturing it. We have the AutoCAD, which includes the specialized tool sets like AutoCAD electrical, mechanical, architecture, and so on. We have Inventor nesting, which can optimize the yield so that we can reduce the stock that we use for nesting. And these Inventor software are fully integrated inside our Inventor Professional, so that we don't need to go to one platform to another just to finish our job. So as you can see here, we also have the factory design utilities to optimize our factories based on our machine configurations. We have the Vault Basic, which is our data management tool. Fusion 360, which gives a next generation technology like generative design. Navisworks Manage is our collaboration tool. Reality Capture Pro, which is capable to convert point cloud data to 3D models. And of course, we have the 3ds Max, which is capable to do photorealistic renderings, animations, and 3D models as well. So we have the additional resources. You can access the Inventor 2022 online help so that you can read in detail or try it yourself the Inventor 2022 new features. We also have the Inventor forums, ideas, and feedback community. So here you can place your ideas, so that it may participate on the next release, which is the Inventor 2023. We also have here the Inventor homepage, Inventor Blog as well as the YouTube, wherein you can watch the videos itself. You can watch the videos itself. So if ever you are not using Inventor 22, you can watch it first in in the YouTube here. Okay, so I believe that's all for me. Again, I'm Sergio Henio de la Merced, Applications Engineer for Design and Manufacturing at Maximum Solutions Corporation. And I believe we can now go to our question and answer portion.